Hello everyone and welcome back to my Bold and Beautiful 29 YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Taylor will have other effects on her mind. Now really the time for marriage plans. Hopeless doesn't look good on anyone, not indeed Taylor. Since she and Ridge got engaged, all marriage chatter has been brushed away because of all the Luna drama. Now that Luna has been declared dead and Liam survived surgery, Taylor wants to set a marriage date. Taylor will rein her unborn hubby and begin obliging him to try and pick a marriage date. It's egregious that Taylor is trying to lock Ridge down before he ends up back in bed with Brooke, but it's surely too soon for marriage plans. Ridge will most probably point out that right now Steffi needs all of their attention, and buy himself some further time. Ridge can't keep the engagement facade over much longer. The Forrester Creations heir at law needs to decide if he's really over Brooke Logan and ready to say I do with Taylor again. Word on the internet is that Ridge will go through with the marriage plans, but will most probably pull the draw on the marriage at the last nanosecond. Still, it could be Taylor that calls off the marriage if she catches Brooke and Ridge together. Not too long ago Taylor was in the sanitarium and fighting for her life. When Taylor returned to Los Angeles last time, she was battling a deadly case of broken heart pattern. The complaint returned this summer. Taylor Hayes' dreams are coming true. Not only did she reunite with her long-lost love Ridge, but the couple is engaged to get wedded. Everything is eventually falling into place for Steffi Mama, but there's a catch. Is Ridge still in love with Brooke? Taylor will be devastated when she realizes that Ridge is dragging his bases and refusing to set a marriage date because he's starting to have dubieties. All it took was Captain Nick canoodling with Brooke for Ridge to flash back that he's still in love with her. Is Ridge going to call off the marriage because he still wants to be with Brooke Logan? If he marries Taylor, also he could lose Brooke to his half-family ever. Ridge knows that Taylor's heart might give out if he doesn't marry her. He'd no way forgive himself if his kiddies were left without a mama, because he was jealous of Nick and Brooke. Taylor could use her broken heart pattern to her advantage. She may pretend she's having heart troubles again to reel Ridge back by and make it insolvable for him to cancel the marriage. Taylor's broken heart pattern going to make a comeback if Ridge doesn't set a marriage date. Liam still has a so-called inoperable terminal excrescence. Finn was suitable to prize the pellet that Sheila Twisted get pumped into is at close range. We are gleefully suspending unbelief in accepting that Liam survived being struck in the casket, not the bottom like Sheila, by the alternate pellet fired from Luna immorally attained armament. Surely it wasn't used as a interceder. Rather, this adulatory summer mayhem that has replaced envelopes all that day observers embrace. But Liam didn't drop dead after Luna shot him. Rather, he got off the bottom of his father's sand house, turned new summer art academy, seized her gun, delightfully delivered his dead man line, and also pulled the detector. Despite not incontinently dying due to the impact of the essence that entered his body and also plugging Luna down, Liam also survived long enough to make it to surgery. How numerous hospitals anywhere in the given world have an observation area where loved bones? Or whoever can substantiation life-saving surgery? University Hospital, because Steffi, Hope, and Carter watched Finn save Liam. We may have been wondering if the pellet destroyed the excrescence, and all would be resolved during the exigency procedure. Luna would have likely claimed credit for that outgrowth in the future, if so. Steffi was adamant. She couldn't maintain eye contact with Luna. At the same time, character constantly refocused the gun at her during the conflict, before Liam arrived to save the day, but wouldn't agree to allow her unwanted stepdaughter to have contact with Finn. Steffi deserves credit for sticking to her, well, ordinance, for being willing to die on principle. Sheila's appearance at the property Bill owns added a unique flavor as well. It was a full reversal of the iconic scene where Brown's character accidentally shot Finn while trying to shoot Steffi and also deliberately shot her with an alternate detector pull in the alley behind Il Giardino. Sheila took the first pellet this time and lost another toe on her formerly bad bottom. That establishes the assumed need for one of Cleaner's most ignominious villains to be forced to walk with a pronounced gait going forward. Steffi allows Sheila to have what Luna wanted for herself and her grandmother, contact with Finn, feels potentially more likely. Lee told Poppy that Luna failed in recovery. That happened after Lee told her staff that she'd take over following her successful pull of the pellet, soliciting the egregious déjà vu question. Lee replaying the script where she claimed Finn was dead but intimately doctored him back to health at a covert position? Sheila will question Luna's death and Lee's claim of it after learning this news and having time to reuse all that's happened. Sheila ever learned Lee was keeping Finn and ultimately chased Matsuda's character off a ground and into what should have been a watery grave. Still, another open question will remain, with buzz formerly in the ether that Yamada has exited the cast, if Luna's body is snappily cremated. She wants nothing to do with her worried bastard Luna. But, now that she knows Luna is technically also her granddaughter, is she having a change of heart? Every croaker has to take a medical pledge, and Lee had no choice but to work on her own bastard when she was rushed into the exigency room by paramedics. Finn and his platoon were hard at work trying to save Liam, and we were impressed that Lee was so invested in saving the Luna. Luna will be pronounced dead soon on the cleaner, but there's a chance it's a humbug and her death was faked. All signs are pointing to Finn's mama Lee Finnegan faking Luna's demise and taking her to an undisclosed position to nurse her back to health. The effects that Luna has done insupportable, and the Pens have an uphill battle if they suppose character will ever be accepted. But, Lee Finnegan is launching an intriguing crusade for her redemption. Lee will face off with her family Poppy. Poppy's big family blames her for her crappy parenthood and will rant that Luna no way stood a chance with her as a mama. It appears Lee has changed her station on Luna since learning she's actually Finn's son. Is Lee right about their blood on Poppy's hands? Can she actually be criticized for everything her son has done since arriving in Los Angeles? Does that mean Luna deserves another alternate chance at life? Liam go under the cutter, Finn telling off Poppy, and Bridget making an astounding discovery. Liam had a moment of pause before getting ready to leave the sanitarium. Bill was about to let his son's jitters stop him from being cured. He, along with Grace, assured him all would be well. Liam was taken to a different sanitarium room where Grace and her co-worker dropped up to get to work. But first, Grace demanded a moment with Bone Bill. They demanded the payment before effects could move forward. Bill assured her the cash would be on the way to her account veritably shortly. He also stepped out, leaving his son with the surgeons. Soon, he was put under and the croakers got to work. Bridget touched base with Finn. They talked about Liam's frippery and how important the drama has meddled with Steffi's sense of safety. At least Liam made it, however, no thanks to Luna. That's when Poppy walked by and demanded to speak to the father of her child. Bridget took her leave to go check on her former family-in-law. Poppy got teary-eyed talking about her regrets bringing up Luna, especially not letting her and Finn know they were father and son. Poppy also launched into a diatribe about how evil Luna truly, and while Finn agreed she was a mess, he made it clear Poppy was the reason why. Bridget was shocked to find Liam's room empty. And, indeed, more stupefied to hear Grace released him into Bill's care. Bridget ran to tell Finn and tell him everything. He was inversely as astounded to hear Liam went home with his father. Bill paced the hallway soliciting for his son to come through this operation and soliciting God to not take Liam from him. Bill's prayers were answered. Liam came through the operation and Bill was brought to Liam's side where he was told they performed the ultimate phenomenon, the excrescence was completely removed and he'd soon be back to his regular life. A veritably long and full life. Steffi was at Forrester Creations with Hope, Carter, and Brooke. They bandied all effects Luna and Liam and what was to come for their favorite idol. Brooke was especially interested in Liam's cancer opinion and why she was left out of that secret. They reminded her that was Liam's choice and they were simply esteeming his wishes. They all upset about how the impact of shooting someone would affect Liam. He's such a gentle soul. He doesn't have a killer bone in her body. They also bothered about Finn. No sooner did he find out that Lunatic was his child, also she stalked, wearied, and colluded his woman's death. And, now that she's gone, they wondered if he'd ever recover.